In the previous video, we have created an Apex trigger on lead object where we have put a simple debug statement in our trigger. So this debug statement says lead trigger called, and we have verified from our debug logs that this statement executes whenever we create a new lead record. Now this was not an actual automation, was it? We were simply printing a debug log in our trigger. But this is not what you will actually be doing. You will be writing some automation process in your triggers, and that's what we'll be doing in this video. What I want, like whenever I'll create a new lead, I want to set this lead source field to other, and this is what we will do in this video. So let's go back to our developer console, and I'm going to comment this line. And I'm going to write some code here which you will not understand at this moment, but we are going to cover it very thoroughly in our coming videos. So whenever you write a trigger, first you'll get the new set of records and you need to operate on those records so that you can write some automations or you can change some values. So I'm going to use a for loop here, and within this for loop I'm going to have a lead type of variable. Let's call it lead record, and I'm going to iterate over a list which is called trigger.new. Now this trigger.new gives me all the new set of records or the new versions of record within my trigger. We are going to cover this in detail in our coming videos, but for now let's go with the flow. And since I'll get my lead record in this variable, I can make any changes to this lead record. And the change that I want to make is to this lead source field. So let me open the setup page here because I want to get the API name of this lead source field. I'm going to go to Object Manager. Search for lead here. Go to Fields and Relationships and search for lead source. The API name of our lead source field is lead source itself. So I'm gonna go back to my developer console and I'm going to make some changes to my lead record. So I'll use this variable dot the field name. We need to remove the extra space and I want to change it to other, and that's it. That's the only thing that we want to do here. I'm going to save my lead trigger, and now I'm going to go back to my Salesforce org and I'm going to create one more lead record. Let's click on new, and here I'm going to name it lead trigger test. I'm going to give a company name, and remember I'm not selecting the lead source here, but this will be populated by our trigger. So I'm going to save this record and let's go to details. Let's check our lead source field and it says other. So this means our lead trigger is working fine. We can test it again by creating one more lead record. So let's click on new. Let's name it as lead trigger test 2. This time I'm going to select some value to my lead source. Here I'm going to select web. So even though you select a different value in your lead source field, when you are trying to create the record, our automation process or our lead trigger is still going to override the value of this lead source field. So it doesn't matter if I select web here, I'll still see other in my actual record. So if you'll go to details here, you would see that the lead source field is still populated with other. If you do not want this behavior, then we can easily fix this by going back to our lead trigger, and here we can check if this lead source field is empty or not. If it is empty, then only we are going to set it to other. So I'm going to have an if condition here, and I'm going to check lead record dot lead source, and I'm going to have a method from string class, and it should be is blank, and this is going to check if the lead source field is blank or not. If it is blank and if this if condition evaluates to true, then only we are going to set our lead source field to other. So let's save it again. Go back to our Salesforce org and let's create one more record. I'm going to name it as lead trigger test 3. And this time let's select some value in the lead source field, maybe phone inquiry, and let's save it. So this time our trigger will ignore the lead source field because this is not blank when we are creating this lead record, and we should still see the phone inquiry here in our lead source. So this was a simple automation that we have created using a lead trigger. In the coming videos, we will learn why we need Apex triggers and all the different things that we can do with the help of Apex triggers.